Hi, good morning, everyone. My hair is longer than it's been in years, I guess for about the last 6 years because of the COVID. Also because hairdressers charge so much, like $60 just to trim the bottom. Oh my God. I'm putting on my shoes. You know how you can tell when you're getting old, when you can't kill a fly? Yeah, okay. Today's topic is how to ruin a relationship. So take notes, some of you. The first thing that will ruin a relationship is trying to control someone. That is the biggie. I actually was in a tough love class in Melbourne, Florida, and I remember this couple bringing up the subject, and I go, what does that mean? Well, it's when somebody tells you what you can and cannot do or how to act. Now, it's okay to give good, constructive criticism. That's what I used to always tell my ex. But if it's daily and if they're isolating you or if you're isolating them, you don't want to do that. Everybody needs family. Everybody needs friends. And believe me, anytime that you want to retaliate against somebody, it will bug you as time goes by. I got 65 years behind me, so I know what I'm talking about. If you seek revenge, it may not happen. You know, the karma may not happen next week. It may happen 40 years from now. So be very aware of that if you're trying to destroy someone. Also, now there is a difference. If you are being abused, it's very helpful if you have evidence, because a lot of people will go to court and say, well, no, she's lying or he's lying. You know, she hit me. You need to have a little bit of evidence, or at least a somebody as a witness. Okay. Another thing that ruins a relationship is one of you have an addiction, whether it be gambling or alcohol or drugs. That will ruin a relationship. It may take 10 or 15 years, but it happens. This is my Rolling Stones cup, and there's that fly that I can't kill. Where are they coming from? I never leave my house because of the pandemic. Yeah, addictions ruin relationships. After it's all said and done, if the person who's an addict gets, you know, in recovery, it may be too late to save the relationship. It may have already caused too much damage. Another thing that will ruin a relationship is if you are always missing, or you're gone for days and nobody knows where the hell you're at, you know, because people think of all sorts of things, you know, usually the worst. But yeah, you always want to tell somebody that you love where you're at in case there's an issue. You should always check in with somebody at least once a day. Yeah, and when you don't answer those texts, this is that murder that just happened with Chris Watts. His wife became very suspicious when he didn't answer her for like long periods of time because he was on a date with that other girl, right? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to make somebody worry, you know, because a lot of people do worry, and that's not good to put someone in that position. Another thing that will ruin a relationship is if you have different parenting skills. Before you ever have children or get into a relationship, you need to sit down and talk about how you're going to parent the children. That can be a major source of contention. But one of the big ones is in-laws. I learned not to criticize your significant other's family. And because your family may end up being worse than the one you're criticizing. I can give you an example. For years, my my mother was always the topic of every conversation. Everybody would like be, talking about her negatively. And I allowed my ex to do that because most of the time I agreed with him. But after it was all said and done, people, listen carefully, his family was worse. See, it's okay to have arguments. It's okay to be upset at somebody. But when you completely cut them out of your life and they don't regret anything, you see what I'm trying to say? So be careful to criticize your significant other's family, because in the long run, yours may be worse, So I truly, truly believe that, like if you're having trouble with your mother-in-law, that your spouse needs to address that, not you, because that calls another whole can of worms. So, yeah, and another thing is, everybody needs some alone time. Everybody needs to go out with the guys or the girls at least once a month. And another thing that'll ruin a relationship, if you forget that that's your sweetheart, you need to have a designated date night. And I know life comes at you like a roller coaster, but the minute that you forget that is when you're going to have trouble. You need to make that person in your life feel very special. And never ever take for granted somebody in your life, because they could be taken away in a heartbeat. I have a lot of friends from high school who've already lost their spouse to breast cancer and other issues with cancer. So you never know. Okay, bye everyone.